Well, sanctuary, at least what I hope it will become. For a long time, I walked into this living room and felt a sense of heaviness rather than peace. Like many of you, I used to think that expensive meant more furniture, more colors, and more trendy items. But looking at these mismatched pillows and crowded shelves, I realized that true luxury isn't about accumulation. It's about the feeling of space and the quality of light hitting the floor. I've decided it's time for a change, a shift toward what designers call visual wealth. Today, I'm starting a journey to strip away the noise and find the elegance hidden underneath the clutter. The setting is familiar, a standard suburban interior that feels safe but unremarkable. I looked at my walls and realized they were covered in art that didn't speak to me, just pieces I bought because the frames were on sale. The furniture is functional, but it lacks a cohesive story, creating a visual stutter every time I walk through the door. I want to create a space that feels like a high-end hotel suite, but retains the warmth of a family home. To do that, I have to understand that wealth in design isn't about a price tag, it's about intentionality. Every object in this room needs to earn its place, or it needs to go. This is the beginning of a transformation that focuses on texture, tone, and the beauty of the natural world. Then came the moment of truth, the catalyst for this entire project. I was hosting a small gathering, and I realized I was constantly apologizing for the mess, even though the house was technically clean. It wasn't dirt, it was visual clutter that made the space feel cheap and claustrophobic. I looked at a designer magazine, and then back at my room, and the contrast was painful. Why did their spaces feel like they had visual wealth, while mine felt like a storage unit? The conflict was internal. I was holding on to things out of habit, not love. That evening, after everyone left, I sat in the middle of the floor and decided that everything cheap had to go. The process started with a ruthless decluttering, which was harder than I anticipated. I found myself questioning every single vase, every book, and every rug. Does this plastic frame add value, or does it scream mass-produced? I began to realize that by trying to make the room look full, I had actually made it look empty of character. This was the hardest part of the journey, the realization that my taste had been dictated by convenience rather than vision. I started clearing the surfaces, leaving only the bare essentials. The room began to breathe, but it also felt cold, like a blank canvas waiting for its first stroke of genius. The struggle was finding the balance between expensive-looking and hospitable. This was the turning point, the climax of the transformation. Instead of buying new stuff, I invested in materials that carry their own weight. I brought in natural linens, raw stone, and reclaimed wood, materials that age beautifully and feel substantial to the touch. I replaced the harsh overhead light with layered lighting that creates pockets of warmth and drama. It was like watching the room wake up from a long, dull sleep. I focused on the visual wealth principle of scale, replacing many small things with one large, high-quality statement piece. The energy in the room shifted from frantic to focused. Every time I touched the new linen curtains, I felt a sense of quality that the old synthetic ones never provided. The peak of the transformation happened when the morning sun hit the newly designed space. The room didn't just look better, it looked expensive because it looked curated. By sticking to a tonal palette of creams, oaks, and soft grays, I created a sense of harmony that is the hallmark of luxury. The visual wealth wasn't in the objects themselves, but in the relationship between them. There was finally a sense of rhythm in the design, the way the eye moves from the soft texture of the rug to the smooth surface of the stone bowl. It felt like I had finally cracked the code. The room was no longer just a place to sit. It was a testament to the idea that beauty lies in the quality of the quiet moments. Now the conflict of the past feels like a distant memory. The room has a new soul, one that reflects a more intentional way of living. I've learned that visual wealth is about letting the architecture speak and choosing quality over quantity every single time. When friends come over now, they don't comment on the things in the room. They comment on how peaceful they feel. That is the ultimate sign of a successful design. I've resolved my struggle with clutter by embracing the beauty of the void. By giving every object space to breathe, I've given myself space to breathe too. This isn't just about interior design, it's about a lifestyle change that values the permanent over the ephemeral. The resolution of this journey has brought a profound sense of satisfaction. I look around and I don't see a list of things to fix or items to buy. I see a completed thought. The home now looks more expensive than I ever could have achieved with a shopping spree because it has a sense of timelessness. We often think we need to keep up with trends to be relevant, but visual wealth teaches us that the most expensive thing you can own is a space that feels uniquely yours and perfectly balanced. This room is now a sanctuary where I can recharge and find inspiration. The transition from chaotic to curated has transformed my daily routine into a series of beautiful moments. As I sit here in the quiet glow of my new home, I realize that the moral of the story is simple. Richness is found in the edit. You don't need a massive budget to create a home that looks and feels like $1 million. You need the courage to remove what doesn't serve you and the patience to wait for the pieces that truly matter. Visual wealth is an art form that anyone can master, starting with the space you inhabit right now. Remember, your home is a reflection of your inner world. Make it a place of light, texture, and peace. Thank you for joining me on this transformation. May your home always be a place that reflects the very best version of you.